Fish broth is an energizing, invigorating, comforting, delicately flavored traditional Trinidadian soup made with fish, various vegetables including root vegetables, lots of garlic, herbs, dumplings, and/or pasta. Today I'm sharing my healthy, all-natural version with a bonus pepper and lime condiment that takes it to a whole other level. Today I'll be using green fig, potato, eddos, sweet potatoes, cassava and onion, okra, carrots, lime, lemon, garlic, hot peppers, and a fabulous green seasoning base, scallions, bandana, thyme, and pimento peppers. Now let's go shopping together. There are many varieties of sweet potatoes, so have fun trying and deciding which one is your favorite. My absolute favorite is a Japanese or Korean sweet potato, which is purple on the outside and white on the inside. When buying green fig, it's recommended that you use a very young green fig if you can find it. Eddos is also one of my absolute favorite ingredients in fish broth because of its creaminess. Next up, we'll pick up our green seasonings, scallions or green onions, bandana, thyme, and pimento peppers. They add such a wonderful flavor to this dish. And don't forget the celery stalks or the celery leaves. Next up is the fish market, and we're in the middle of winter, so we're pretty lucky to get fresh fish. Any firm fish will do. You have croaker or cockerel, red snapper or yellow snapper, carry, kingfish, shark, fillets or whole fish, whatever works for you. Croaker. This is croaker. Mullet. Red snapper today is a whopping $9.99 a pound. Because the fish market is a distance away, we usually pick up the frozen natural barramundi from BJ's. Always one less thing to do when I decide to make a fish broth. To make the green seasoning, use scallions, cilantro, and garlic. Put it in the blender or food processor, or you may use any pre-ground green seasoning. Wash the fish with the juice of a lime or lemon and season with half of the green seasoning, reserving the other half. Now I'm going to peel and chop the vegetables, and I'm going to provide details here for those of you who have never done this before. Once the vegetables are peeled, submerge them in a bowl full of cold water to prevent them from oxidizing or turning brown. I have done this a day in advance, but the vegetables must be kept in water until ready to use. I love fish broth so much. I eat it 2 to 3 times per week during the harsh winters we have here in New York City. It will take about 15 to 30 minutes to complete all the prep work, all depending on your level of expertise. It's recommended that you oil your fingers before peeling green bananas because it tends to stain. This recipe actually makes a small pot of broth compared to the huge cauldrons we usually make while we're liming or gathering with friends. Here I'm utilizing a little different technique because this is a little difficult, but I don't recommend that you use this technique unless you have full control over your knife. Today I happen to have yuca, so I'm going to use a piece. Peeling a yuca is so satisfying because it is so easy to peel. And that's all I'm going to use in today's broth because the rest looks questionable. When in doubt, I always throw it out. Now let's rinse and chop the vegetables. Because the eddos are small, I'm just going to halve them, or you could also leave them whole. Cutting the vegetables around the same size not only helps it to cook evenly, but also makes it look appetizing as well. Also chop 2 stalks of celery and a tomato. For the okra, rinse them, dry them, and cut off the tops and the ends. And that's the end of the prep work. It gets much easier from here on. Now let's start cooking. Add about 12 cups of water to a large iron pot or stock pot and bring to a boil over high heat. Add the potato, the sweet potatoes, the green fig and the eddos. Next we will add the bunch of thyme, the chopped tomatoes, the carrots, the celery, the reserved green seasoning, chopped pimentos, the onion and the pepper. And we will keep the pepper whole because we want to infuse the broth with the pepper without adding any heat. We'll give it a gentle stir, bring it to a boil, cover and reduce the heat to low, and cook until the vegetables are fork tender but firm, about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the size and the amount of vegetables you used. While that's boiling, we'll need the flour to make the dumplings. In a bowl, add 2 cups of all-purpose unbleached flour, 1 teaspoon salt and 1 teaspoon sugar. Once all the ingredients are mixed, we will gradually add the water and knead it to make a firm dough. It only takes about a minute or 2. Once we're done, we will cover it and let it rest until we're ready to shape the dumplings. After 20 minutes and the vegetables are cooked but still firm, it's time to add the fish and the okra. Because it's a broth and not a soup, you want to keep the vegetables as firm as possible. Now we're going to add the fish to the pot.
Where there's a will, there is a way.
Do not use fish heads or fish bones if you have teens or kids, or you're just not a pro at eating fish. Next, we will add another touch of salt and the seasoning from the bowl the fish was in. And now we're adding the okra at the end because we want to keep it whole. And now for the fun part, making the dumplings. And here you can make it into any shape you want. You can roll it like this, or you can roll it out like a roti and cut it into squares. Instead of making dumplings, you could use macaroni, the bucatini shape, or you can leave it all out altogether because there's plenty of root vegetables to keep you full. If you like lots of broth, or liquid in this case, use a much larger pot and more liquid. The challenge here now is to keep all the dumplings submerged so that they will cook. I'm going to bring the potatoes and sweet potatoes at the top and put the dumplings at the bottom to help them cook faster. I'm going to keep the heat at medium and let it simmer for about 7 to 10 minutes until the dumplings are fully cooked. Now is a good time to test it out for salt. Add some freshly ground pepper. You can add here chopped scallions or bandania. I'm going to put the cover on to help the okras cook. Now to make this exhilarating lime and pepper condiment that's going to excite your taste buds. 1 onion finely chopped, hot pepper or 2 finely chopped as well, 1 garlic grated. You will also need 1 tablespoon of bandania finely chopped and the juice of 2 limes and a little bit of salt. Give it a stir and it's ready. Really amplifies the flavor of the dish without having to add any flavor enhancers or salted butters that are traditionally used. Now that the dumplings and the okra and all the vegetables are cooked, we're done. This, my friends, is comfort in a bowl. It's going to be a wonderful Saturday afternoon.